It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to November 30th, the year 2023, when the Nashville Predators were welcoming in the Minnesota Wild and their former head coach, John Hines. Current and new head coach of the Nashville Predators, Andrew Brunette, deployed his line combinations in the following way: Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist; Sherwood, Parson, and Evangelista; Trennan and Sissons make up your third line; Smith, McCarron, and Tomasino make up your fourth line. So that's right, 11 forwards and 7 defensemen. Again, for this game, McDonough and Yossi, Luzon and Carrier, Barrier and Shen, and Fabro make up your defensive pairings. UC Saros gets the start against the Central Division rival Minnesota Wild on home ice. We are just 50 seconds into the first period of this game, and it's Gustafsson coming with a save on Philip Forsberg. It is the first shot on goal of the game at 1:58 of the first period. Saros coming with a save on Johansson, his first save of the game. At 2:47 of the first period, Gustafsson coming with a save on Tomasino. Point blank range, Tomasino had a golden and glorious opportunity to score right here, and he was robbed by Gustafsson with the glove. 3:19 of the first period, Saros coming up with this save on Duarte. 3:58, Rossi off to the box. 2 minutes for hooking our first penalty of the game. Sees the Nashville Predators on a power play, and Gustafsson coming up with a save on Nyquist from the slot. A great shot here by Nyquist, but overall a strong penalty kill by the 32nd rated penalty kill unit in the NHL. Just after the PK is completed, 6:08 of the first period, it's Duarte coming up with his third goal of the season. Barry is beaten to the rebound in front in the low slot just above the crease area. So Duarte gets Minnesota on the board first and with a 1-0 lead. At 7:30 of the first period, it's Kaprizov off to the box. 2 minutes for interference on Carey. This was more of a blindside hit headshot that was not necessarily appropriately called. Carrier left the game injured with all of the things that the referees have at their disposal now as far as review and tools. It was interesting that this was not called in a different way. So Kaprizov just off to the box, 2 minutes. I think Minnesota catches a break on this exchange. Gustafsson comes with a save on Sissons, and another strong and really aggressive penalty kill by the Minnesota Wild. 10:15 in the first period. Gustafsson coming up with a save on Smith, and we have lots of physical play and lots of big hits taking place all over the ice over the next couple of shifts before at 14:01 we find Middleton scoring his fourth goal of the season. He drives the net and puts the backhand finish over Saros. Challenged for offsides, upheld, good goal. 2-0 Minnesota, but also a delay of game penalty now on the Nashville Predators for a failed coach's challenge, and Kaprizov is cashing in for the Minnesota Wild with this. 7th goal of the season was a one-timer from the half wall and ends up going through the 5-hole. Saros kind of kicks it in with his own interior of the pad. Minnesota now immediately has a 3-0 lead in this game. 15:37 of the first period, Saros comes up with the save on Maroon. 15:44, Shen and Foligno have a go. They're off to the box, 5 minutes each. Shen was particularly aggressive in this fight. 16:43 of the first period, Gustafsson comes up with the save on Luzon. 17:53, Yossi's off to the box. 2 minutes for delay of game, puck over the glass. Saros comes up with a save on Kaprizov. Then Saros comes up with a save on Eriksson Ek, plus the jam 2 times by Zuccarello, which leads to a huge scrum after the whistle. Luzon and Fabro, Boldy, and Kaprizov all off to the box, all of them getting 2-minute roughing penalties. Saros comes with a save on Gaudreau on the continuation of the power play with the end of the first period, with Minnesota out shooting Nashville 13-10, leading 3-0. On to the clean sheet, and the Nashville Predators looking to rebound in the second period, and Maroon's on the board at 1:43, his third of the season. It's a perfect deflection at the top of the crease. He was able to keep his stick loose, and he was able to make a great play, giving Minnesota now a 4-0 lead. That's when UC Saros would make his exit and Kevin Lankinen would enter the game. At 2 minutes even of the second period, it's Gustafsson coming with a save on Ryan McDonough at 5:57. Lankinen a save on Latore at 6:28. Gustafsson a save on Philip Forsberg at 8:04. Gustafsson another save on Tomasino, this time on a partial breakaway at 10:25 of the second period. Gustafsson comes with the save on Sissons at 11:12 of the second period. It's Duarte with his fourth goal of the season. It ended up being a 2-on-0. Shen couldn't make the play in the neutral zone. Multiple players able to slip behind the D and get in on Lankinen for the easy finish, making the game 5-0 here, only midway through. At 12:50 of the second period, it's Lankinen coming with a save on Gaudreau at 13:58. It's Gustafsson coming with a save on Sissons at 15:04. Gustafsson comes with a save on Philip Forsberg at 16:16 of the second period. It's Kaprizov off to the box, 2 minutes for slashing he certainly didn't make any friends in Nashville tonight. Gustafson comes with a save on Yossi during the penalty kill. Gustafson then another save on Barry, this time with the knob of the stick, catching a break right here on what was a really, really well-placed shot, except for the knob of the stick being in the way. 19:55 of the second period. Fabro off to the box, 2 minutes for hooking, so it's just 5 seconds to go in the period. We'll have the carryover of 1:55 into the third period. The shots on goal at the end of the second period, just to go back to that. Minnesota out shooting Nashville 21-18. We're now into the third period. A carryover of 1 minute and 55 seconds on the Dante Fabro penalty. A decent PK overall by Nashville, but you got to say, was Minnesota really pushing at this point in the game with such a big lead? At 2:36 of the third period, it's Juuso Parssinen getting on the board for the Nashville Predators, getting that 0 off the board and turning it to a 1. Parsons' fourth goal this season was a great deflection of Ryan McDonough's shot from out high. Looked like it could have been a double deflection. Forsberg might have touched it first on the way in before Parson got it, but the official score sheet has it as Parson from McDonough and Evangelista. So Parsons' fourth goal this season finally gets the Preds on the board in this game. Still 5-1, though, in favor of the Minnesota Wild. At 4:34 of the third period, it's Lankinen coming up with a save on Eriksson Ek. At 5:04 of the third period, it's Gustafson coming up with a save on Philip Forsberg. At 6:40 of the third period, it's Lankinen coming up with a save on Rossi. At 8:01, Lankinen comes up with another save on Eriksson Ek. At 9:47 of the third period, it's Dewar, his 5th goal of the season. He kicked the puck in. There is no denying it. There's no doubt about it. It was reviewed. It was upheld. It ends up being a hat trick. But to go back to it, this has got to be just given stick taps as a really slick, hard, aggressive play. He was facing contact from the D, and he got away with kicking the puck into the net. Rarely are you going to get away with that one, but he kicked the puck into the net, and it was obvious, but there was not enough evidence to overturn it, so Dewar is rewarded for going to the hard areas, bringing the jam, and that makes it 6-1 in favor of the Minnesota Wild at Bridgestone Arena. At the 10:37 mark of the third period, Middleton's off to the box, 2 minutes for tripping on Luke Evangelista. Evangelista still making things happen out there. He was good and aggressive right here, cutting across the top of the offensive zone and drawing a tripping penalty on Middleton. Gustafson comes up with a save on Barry, but that would be it for the Nashville Predators on this power play. Unfortunately, again, the 32nd ranked penalty kill in the NHL coming into this game was the Minnesota Wild, but they were certainly very good and certainly very aggressive, and they got the job done in this game. We move on to back to 5-on-5 hockey. We see at 13:26 of the third period, it's Lankinen coming up with a save on Matt Zuccarello. Zuccarello still buzzing all over in this game. At 15:13 of the third period, it's Philip Tomasino off the box, 2 minutes for high sticking. Initially, it kind of looked like Tomasino got tripped, but Tomasino ended up kind of tripping himself, and then his stick goes flying into the air and catches Maroon in the face. He is off to the box, 2 minutes for high sticking, and Dewar is putting the puck in the net on the power play. It was a rebound putback, but challenged for offside, so Dewar's 4th goal of the game ends up coming off of the board, so no goal right here, and Dewar was just all over the damn rink tonight. 6-1 is the score. You take that 7th goal off of the board, and 6-1 ends up being your final in this game in favor of the Minnesota Wild. 31 shots on goal for Minnesota, 27 for the Nashville Predators. And for the Nashville Predators, it was as simple as this. They were outplayed from start to finish in this game for an entire 60 minutes. They didn't get the call that they wanted on Kaprizov early in the first period. And yes, Kaprizov was a difference maker in this game offensively. He typically is. The rough stuff, the hits in the corners, that's not typically what you associate Kaprizov with. The rest of what he put onto the box score, you do. So for the Nashville Predators, they may not have gotten the call they wanted, but they could not let that affect them for the next 55 minutes of this game, and it seems like it did affect them. The Nashville Predators power play unable to convert at all against the worst-rated penalty kill in the league, and John Hynes comes back to Nashville and gets a little measure of revenge. He'll say it had nothing to do with getting revenge, and it's all good, but he was fired by the Nashville Predators at the end of last season, and now he's got his first opportunity in his second game with the Minnesota Wild. He's come to Nashville and picked up a victory, his second as head coach of the Minnesota Minnesota Wild. So the Nashville Predators suffer one of their worst defeats on home ice this season. You gave us 10 minutes. We gave you the entire game. It's called the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap, coming up next on the Renegades of Puck podcast.